Hello and welcome to this week's Ask Me Anything Python. So this week we've got 2 items, 1 question and a featured module. So our first question is from Daniel Milinski, and he says, "Hello Mike, could you explain how super works? When you overwrite getQuerySet method in class-based views, we should call super on a query set like this." And then he gives the code below. So why do we do this in Django, and why is it important to call super? Well, super is basically the method we use to call the original base class method. So when you call the super method, basically what you're doing is you're accessing an original version of that function. So say you've got your own class, then you have a method called, I don't know, my method. If you inherit from another class that has a base class that has that function in it, when you come to call that base version, you use the super to refer specifically to the base class's version of that function. And then you make sure that that part of the base class functionality gets executed inside of your overridden version. So in the case of your class-based view, we've basically got a class-based view class, and we've derived from there. So to get query set, we call the base class's version of getQuerySet, and then we do whatever we want to do inside of that our particular getQuerySet function too. So we add to the functionality of the base version, but we also want to call the base version too. Now we're going to move on to a featured module that's basically covered in the use of including countries into your web pages. Now, how do I mean that? Well, when you want to create a form in Django, there's a very complex process of building up a form if you want to include countries and country codes. So we've got a nice little module here called django-countries, and it's going to basically make that whole task vastly simpler. So see what you think. Here's it just now. This is how django-countries works. It basically lets you install a little module that gives you a little drop down list of different countries that you can select in your forms. Now you can basically select that and it'll change a flag for you, which is handy because it gives you this automatic list of all these countries, and in addition to that you also get this little functionality built into there. So if you're building forms and you need to select a country, then this is ideal, and it takes very little coding. So how do we actually get it on the system? Well, the first thing is, once you're inside your virtual environment, you just need to go pip install django-countries, django-countries. Once you've installed that, the next step is to basically go into your settings.py for your project, and then put in django_countries. So once you've got that in, the next step from there is to actually start using it in your models. Now if we go into the models, I've created a country field, and I've imported from django-countries.fields a country field, and this is the thing that gives you all of the options with the different countries in there. Once you've put that inside of your model, the next step is to go into one of your forms. So the organization form that I'm using on here basically has this country field in it, and the way we put it in there is we added it into the fields for the form. And this is a model form, remember, and then we add in a widget that comes from the django-countries.widgets section called the country select widget, and that will give us this drop down functionality which then allows us to select that. But in the process it also installs a little bit of Java script inside of this that changes the flag too. So that's why we're using that widget. So once you've done that, all you really need to do is run your migrations, create your model, and bosh it onto your template. So in our template, I've got an organization form, and all I've literally done is I've taken my organization form just there and put it through a bootstrap filter, which you do or do not have to do on your own. And that's pretty much all I had to do to get that onto the page. And if you've ever tried to build yourself a country selection drop down menu, you can imagine it's not particularly easy. You've got to collate all these countries yourself, get all the values together, and then make a select menu, and then add your own JavaScript. So to basically get this to work on its own without you needing to do any code other than what I've just shown you is amazing. So next time you've got a country field on one of your forms, why not give this a whirl instead of spending a couple of hours worth of coding yourself? Okay, so that's the end of this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, then click the like button down below, and if you want to see more in the series, then click the subscribe button, and you'll get a notification next time the episode comes out, which is usually on a Saturday. Thanks for watching.